Hi, this is Larry Hatch for the Great EV Con Game, a new channel devoted to debunking all of the EV evangelists' myths, spins, lies, outright ignorance. I think many of them mean well, but they're not doing well. They're giving you half the facts, maybe a third of the facts, just the facts they know, just their experience. So I'm going to go into this in a little more detail. Today's episode is EVs are not ready for working class, middle class people. They're not priced right. Okay, the prices will come down, but don't tell me these cars are affordable. Everybody says they're affordable. Well, if they're affordable to you, you are not middle class. We did some math as to the average middle class income, and some of you will even argue with this. So we just decided, husband and wife, for the sake of a traditional home, each making 50 grand. Again, that's a big assumption because a lot of us middle class folks don't have a $100,000 family income. But just to be really super fair, we're going to say each person needs a car and each spouse makes 50 grand. Okay, so we ran the numbers. How much can you spend for an EV or any car? Up to $500 a month per person. So the wife gets a car for $500 a month, the guy gets a car for $500 a month. Again, that's probably not what you're going to spend, but that's what you could spend. So let's look at some EV prices, and I pull these off the internet. Again, I'm using real facts, real information. I'm not spinning you using clever phrases. These are real numbers, and I just pulled these yesterday. Okay, here is a Tesla Model X. Not even the best Tesla by any means. Tesla Model X. Okay, it's not a Y, it's not a S, it's not a Plaid. It's the high performance X. It's a good one and has almost no options. I just picked like a few of the options just at random, but not all the options. And this particular vehicle showed up on a loan at $942 a month with $4,500 down. That's a little steep for some people. And you can see the terms here. Oh, a $1,390 destination fee. Oh, that's lovely. And that doesn't include your local tax and tags and all that stuff. Assumes you have really good credit. And you do get that tax credit. Oh, that's nice. But you're still going to pay, look at that down payment. You're going to pay almost all your tax credit in your down payment and have to wait a whole year to get that back. How lovely. And they want $250 down. That's reasonable. And there's a non-refundable order fee. I forgot what that was. I think that was $250 also. So $942 a month. That is $442 more a year than somebody making 50 grand should be spending. And we'll talk about should be in terms of budgeting. I'm not as strict as Dave Ramsey and some others on budgets, but we're going to be very reasonable on our car budget here. Second car I looked at was what they're considering one of the best EV SUVs. This is the Mercedes EQE 580 SUV. And just for the sake of argument, I spec'd out half the options. I unchecked the other half, and the car was $138,150. Look at those taxes. Look at those fees. The lease payments $26.15 a month. Amount due at signing $34.10. So here is one of the great SUVs that all the EV evangelists are saying, oh, this proves their cars are superior. Oh. Well, do you have 138? I know some of you live in towns where you can still buy a house for $138,000. You definitely, in a lot of cities, can buy a used Ferrari for $138,000, and you can buy a very nice used Lamborghini for that price as well. Do you really want one of those plump, ugly lumps from Mercedes? Pretty dash, though. Okay. So our point is the prices are not ready for the working class. They are 33% higher than ICE cars, with a mean price of $61,442. I went to a number of different websites, but the most credible was an electric website car, and that was 61,442 for the U.S. in 2023. Some people go as high as 62, some say 55, but this is kind of an average number, so I went with it. Your average used SUV, used EV is 42.7. That's getting a little better. But they did a survey recently, I think it was in March of 2023, saying what is the ideal vehicle price, used vehicle price for your budget, used or new vehicle price for your budget. And they gave people some calculators to figure out what they can afford, should afford, could afford, might get approved for, that sort of thing. And that number was $31,000. The average family is looking for a $31,000 car. Again, new EV out of the question, double their budget almost. Used EV SUV getting there, but still out of range. And you're going to say, Larry, why did you go with Tesla and Mercedes? That's like skewing things. Okay, let's pick a budget brand. We've all seen these lovely Kias that look like Cayennes running around town. Pretty car, really pretty car. Fast car, supposedly faster than Porsche Taycan or Cayenne. Yeah, Cayenne, not Taycan. And this is the EV GT, the fast one, the good one. 64,095, and this is at my local dealer. Yeah, I didn't even calculate whether I could afford it because I knew I couldn't. These are great looking cars, beautiful. They're really stylish. And oh, by the way, Google has had millions of searches for what's that KN car. Well, the new Kia logo, it's got a lot of people fooled into thinking it's a KN and not a KIA. But anyway, interesting. So anyway, even if you take a bargain brand like this, the cheapest Kia EV I saw, I think, was 57 in points of honesty. But the good one, the fast one, 64. So let's deal with that. Now let's run some real numbers here. Again, I said we're making an assumption the middle class family is 2 adults, husband and wife, of whatever gender, making $50,000 each a year. That nets to $33.37 a month in not disposable but available net income. And we're assuming that the family needs 2 cars. Family needs 1 car. That's a different deal. But we're assuming the family needs 2 cars, especially if they're each making $50,000. And I know where a lot of you live, $50,000 is more than middle class in your area, and so I fully understand that. Budget experts say we should not spend more than 15% of our net income, not gross, on a car payment. Car dealers for years have said, oh, let's go with 20% of your gross income just to sell the car. Now, people say, well, I've heard that it was 20% of your budget should be for a car. Yes, no, 20% for transportation. That includes all the air travel you take to visit Auntie Sue and Granny and folks at Thanksgiving and auto care. So 15% on car payments is a reasonable, fair amount because you have other transportation expenses, including auto care. Even if you have a new vehicle, you're going to put some money into that sucker. You're certainly going to spend a lot of money on gas. We know that. By the way, I found out cheap oil changes in my town are $80 to $100 now. I don't know where the $29 oil change went, but it doesn't seem to be around anymore. So these things are not cheap. So anyway, this boils down for this one person, $50,000 a year, husband or wife or one of the 2 partners, whatever you want to say. they get to have a monthly payment of roughly $500 a year max. Okay, so I went to a national website, CarMax, just to get a whole range of prices and data for the whole country. I know some people have problems with CarMax and their prices, but we'll leave that for another show maybe. And they determined that if you got $500 a month for car payment with good credit and $2,000 down, your car should be $26,869. So I said, okay, CarMax, go out to the entire area that I live in, go out 500 miles, look for me a used EV for $26,869. It pulled 22 cars for like the whole East Coast, something like that. That's another problem. But anyway, 500 miles from where I live, it pulled 596 used EVs. Only 22 were in that 26,862 or under price range. And guess what they mostly were? They were mostly old 2014 and 2017 i4s, which is kind of like a well-made smart car or something. I don't know. They're still kind of tiny. Nissan Leafs, like 2017-ish. I saw a 2020 Bolt. That seemed like an interesting proposition, but there was only one of those within a 500-mile radius of my house. There were also some old VW Gulf Electrics in there too, but most of these cars were fairly old, fairly high mileage, and certainly not premium SUVs. Certainly very small ones and lower rated ones. So again, here's somebody making $50 a year, and their best SUV option is probably a 2020 Bolt or a 2017 i4. Do you want to do that really? When that $5,000 a month will get you a used M3 or a used S-Class Mercedes ICE car? Yeah, probably not. My car payment used to be around $500 a month, and that was a beautiful brand new leather-clad, chrome-clad Chrysler 300 with 300 horsepower when it was tuned. I'm not wasting my money on a Leaf, believe me. So anyway, thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and we'll get to more topics in the next episode. Thank you.